What's up everyone, my name is Kalpana and I'm your pattern making instructor. Today I'm going to use one of the sari blouses pattern which you can buy from my Etsy shop, link it in the description. So I'm going to use that pattern and use a fabric. As you know me, I like to use old material not in terms that it's worn out or it's visibly old, but material that something that we don't wear anymore or we haven't worn enough, and use the fabric from that material, basically salvage the fabric from there and then create something new. Now, investing in these patterns is actually, I think, is a good idea, because once you have your patterns, you can keep using them again and again and create different styles. You can even modify this pattern. You don't need to have so many styles. The same pattern can be modified. Now, this one actually is overlapping pattern, and I'm going to use it as not overlapping pattern. I think it's sari blouse 20, pattern number 20, but I will find out and give the link. I am never so prepared for my videos, so I'm going to find that out and give that in the link. And I'm using this fabric, which by the way is from an old pant, my husband's pant, which he doesn't wear. I didn't steal it, so I promise. And I'm going to use this material and these patterns and create a sari blouse, a formal looking sari blouse. Now, I have never seen any sari blouse made out of a formal material. It will be a nice experimentation, not in terms of pattern, but in terms of using the material. So let's see how it goes, where it goes, and stay with me and watch this full video to see how it turns out. So these are the pants that I'm using for this blouse. As you can see, this is an overlapping pattern, but I'm not using it as overlapping pattern. I have folded it from the center and placed it on fold. I'm also kind of using the hem, which is already folded, so that I don't need to fold it again. So I'm keeping it exactly to the end of the hem. I've given half inch seam allowance, but if you like to work with slightly more seam allowance or even less, let's say 1/4 inch seam allowance, you can do that. But for me, half inch seam allowance works fine. So I've given half inch seam allowance for this center pattern, and now I'm doing the same for the side pattern. Now for the side pattern, because I'm not able to put it at the hem, I would rather keep the other side of the pants for the back pattern. So here I will increase the seam allowance to 1 inch so that I can double fold it when we have to sew this. Now I'm placing the back pattern. I will give a little gap at the center back because I will cut it off. I'm going to put a zipper there, and hence I need that seam allowance there. Let's cut all the patterns now. Cut on the line, on the seam allowance line, and cut it accurately. Your front, your back, your side, all the pieces together. Once all the pieces are ready, make sure that you cut at this side, because obviously we don't need the sides on fold. We need them to be separate. All our pieces are ready now. Now I'm going to give a little bit of a design detail on this. I have decided to do a bit of a pleating on the sleeve, just to enhance the look a little bit. And somehow this formal material folds really well, gives very nice feel and look when it's folded, when the pleats are given. So I've cut the strips for that. And now I'm cutting some bias tape, just trying to be a little bit more experimental here, just cutting some different nice fancy fabric for the bias tape, although you can't see the inside of your blouse, but it's just very satisfying to have a nice looking bias tape on a plain fabric especially. So all the pieces are ready, my bias tapes are ready. Let's take them all to the sewing machine. Before we start the sewing machine, let's pin the pieces together. It's going to make your sewing easier if you have all the patterns pinned together, so you don't need to struggle to put them together. You can just focus on your sewing. So I'm pinning them. First of all, I'm pinning the princess cut part, joining the front two pieces together. Now, as you know, the side pieces, I have given extra seam allowance there because we have to do the hemming for that, whereas the center pieces don't have the hemming. We have used the hem of the pants. So I'm giving that fold now and placing my pins there. So why am I doing it now along with joining the center, so that I can align the hems together and it doesn't turn out one longer or one shorter. Similarly to the other part as well, join your princess cut, place the pins accurately, whatever is the axis, fold it and give the hem. Put the pins there as well, and align the hem of your side pieces with the center pieces. Now let's take them to the machine. First of all, do the hemming of your side pieces, because if you do the princess cut first, you won't be able to sew your hemming properly. So first of all, you sew the hem of the side pieces. Now give the stitch on your princess cut. Once your darts, your princess cut attachment is done, do the same thing on the other side. Fold the hem and then join the princess cut. Make sure you keep removing your pins as you sew. Sewing on the pins, although you can get away with it, but sometimes you might hit the pins and your needle can break, and it's unnecessary stoppage in your work. So let's try and avoid that by removing your pins. Now let's join the shoulders. Very simple. Join the front shoulders with the back shoulder. You can directly take it to the machine or apply your pins and then sew it on the machine. Do both the sides. After sewing the shoulders, let's now attach the bias tape to the neckline. First of all, see whether your bias tape is long enough for the entire neckline. If not, join the two pieces together so it's long enough and you can complete the neckline without giving any breaks. Now fold the bias tape as I've shown. Place it from the right side of your pattern, not from inside, because once you sew from the right side, you'll be pushing it inside, you'll be folding it in. So give 1/4 inch seam allowance to your bias tape. If you have given 1/2 inch seam allowance to your patterns, then give 1/2 inch seam allowance. You will later need to cut it to 1/4 so that it folds in properly. So fold the bias tape and sew it to the entire neckline. After sewing it, fold it neatly inside and give a stitch on the top. Your neckline bias tape is done now. Let's now do the pleat part. Fold the fabric in half and make your pleats. Prepare the pleats and put the pins on it. Your both side of the pleating, your both armhole pleating, make sure they're equal number of pleats that you're providing and the length of your entire pleating pattern is the same. Once you have folded your pleats and put the pins, you will place this on your sleeve from the right side. Place it on your armhole from the right side. As I've shown it, keep the edge of the pleating aligned with the edge of your armhole and place it in a way that it gradually finishes so you don't see any raw edges. Now fold your bias tape as we did the neckline. Similarly, we're doing this as well. Fold the bias tape and add 1/4 inch seam allowance. Sew it all along. Cut off the excess fabric from inside so that your bias tape folds in properly. Neatly fold in and give another top stitch. Now your bias tape is done for your armhole as well as for your neckline. Your pleating are nice and firm. You will need to repeat the same thing for the other side of the pleating. After your pleatings are done for both the sides, your bias tapes are done for both the sides. Now the next step is to join the side seams. So place them properly, match them perfectly and give a stitch at 1/2 inch, or if you think that you need to give some more fitting based on your own measurement, you can do that. Repeat the same thing for the other side of your side seam. Now your basic structure, almost your blouse is ready. The only thing now left is to give a zipper at the back. I'm going to use a concealed zip for this, and this zip you will be opening it from top to bottom. Usually your zippers are from bottom to top, but this one we are going to give from top to bottom. So open the zip, place it as I've shown, place your pins for both the sides and sew it on the machine. For concealed zip, you need to have a concealed zip foot. There are different types available. There is a metal concealed zip foot and this is a plastic one. You will also need your tool, your screwdriver that you will use for replacing your regular foot. I'm using the plastic zip foot here, works great for me, and it has nice channel in which you can place your zipper, and it makes sure that your sewing is done exactly at the right place where it should be. There is another video that I have which shows concealed zip sewing very clearly. Maybe you can watch that. I'll give the link in the description below. So sew your concealed zip on both the sides. The general rule for using zipper foot is that the side which you have the zip is the groove that you need to feed your zip into. So if you can notice, I am feeding the zip at the left groove because my zipper teeth are at the left. So that's the rule that you need to follow. Again, you can watch my video especially for zippers, and you can learn how to do concealed zip as well as normal zip. The whole section is there on zippers. So once your concealed zip is done, fold the last part of your zipper, the edge of your zipper like this as I've shown, and give a little stitch on it. For that you will need to change the foot back to your normal foot. Place back your normal foot and give a stitch on that folded part. This is to ensure that you don't have that edge coming out, popping out, and it's nicely secured. Do it for both the sides. Your zip is now ready. You have to now close the top part of the zip and cut off the extra zip. So for this you will need one-sided foot. This is a foot which is used for normal zippers as well. Again, the logic is the same. Where you have your zip, that is the side of the foot that needs to be empty. So if your zip is at the right side, you will be placing it on the right side of the hook. Now sew it neatly. Whichever amount of fabric that you need to hold in from the top, that's how much you will sew it. And lock it properly because there will be a lot of stress on that. There will be a lot of pull on this side of your fabric. So give it nice back stitch, and now cut off the extra zipper that you have. And with this, your blouse is ready, your zipper is ready, and your nice formal looking blouse is ready.